I'd like to call the Finance, Ways and Means Subcommittee for March 5th, 2025 to order. Ms. Clerk, will you please open the board for roll call? Will the members mark themselves present? Ms. Clerk, please take a roll.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Do the members have any personal orders before we begin? Seeing none, I do have a group that is here with me today or visiting the Capitol today. It's the Leadership Putnam Group from all across the Upper Cumberland, but particularly the 42nd District, which I'm happy to have them here. I will note that I was of probably the best class of Leadership Putnam back in. You're out of order. The best class, our motto was get you some of that. And so we're happy to have you all here today. If you will, please stand. We'll give you a round of applause. And these are some of the leaders from my district. So thank you guys for coming up today. As I tell people in my district, either government will happen for you or it'll happen to you, and your involvement in it makes all the difference. So I appreciate you guys being here today. We do have 28 bills on the calendar today. We are going to begin with item number 1. Chairman Halsey, you're recognized on House Bill 1092 for the second week in a row. We have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Halsey, I think you also have an amendment for this bill.
I do. Yes, Chairman, and thank you. It's 4091.
Yes, sir. Can I have we have a motion and second on the amendment. Could you please just tell us what the amendment does?
The amendment makes the bill. I can go ahead and describe that if you'd like.
With the members, without objection, we're going to put the amendment on the bill for the purposes of discussion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The amendment drafting code 04091 goes on the bill. Representative or Chairman Halsey, you're recognized on House Bill 1092 as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The goal of this bill is to ensure that all federal aid that's received by Tennessee state departments is managed and allocated in an efficient manner. And we talk a lot about transparency, but this bill truly does provide more transparency and accountability and oversight on how federal funds are spent. And it actually sets up a system where any agency of the state government who applies for federal grant or federal aid or a loan, they will appear in front of the House and Ways Oversight Committee to explain the details of the money, where it's going to go, how it's going to be spent, how it affects those kinds of things. And that's pretty much what the bill does. There are some agencies that are exempt, but that's the bill.
Thank you, Chairman Halsey. Any questions for Chairman Halsey on the bill? Before we vote, I would like to say, I want to thank you, particularly the Speaker. Also, this committee is faced with dramatic changes and decisions that we have to make every year based upon our agreement to take federal dollars, and the strings that are attached sometimes are unknown or unseen for many years. Therefore, when we take those monies, that we're committing the state's resources to those monies. And so I appreciate the Speaker and you for bringing this bill. I think it's really important that we have a full length, width, and breadth understanding of what we're committing to when we do take resources from the federal government. So I appreciate you bringing this
Amen.
bill. Any further questions? Seeing none, since this bill does have a cost, without objection, this bill, House Bill 1092, goes behind the budget. All right. You also, Chairman Halsey, have item for the members without objection. We're going to go out of order to item number 11. You also have on the calendar today. Item number 11, House Bill 444 by Chairman Halsey. We have a motion and second. Chairman Halsey, if you will, briefly describe the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee. Most people don't realize under current law, TCA 29-17-102, housing authorities and community development agencies can use the power of eminent domain to take private property from owners and transfer that property to another private owner for private development and a private benefit under what is called a general term blighted areas. And what that translates to is you very well may have a 40-acre area with 75 houses in it, and you very well may have 3 blighted houses out of those 75. Under the existing law, housing authorities can take all 75 houses because it's a blighted area. So what this bill does, it says, no, you can only take the blighted property. So it changes the word from area to property. And it really doesn't hurt housing development organizations or organizations like that at all. It does give the person who has the blighted house a reasonable amount of time to repair and fix up what is blighted. There's also one other prohibition, and it says that you can't take agricultural land by blight. You can take it by eminent domain, but it has to be used for public use. So it's pretty much what the bill does.
Thank you, Chairman Halsey. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, we're now voting on House Bill 444. Will the clerk take the vote? The members vote. Will the clerk please announce the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 8 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you, clerk. House Bill 444 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Mr. Committee, and thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Halsey. We're now back to the top of the calendar. Item number 2 on your calendar, House Joint Resolution 48 by Chairman Doggett. Chairman Doggett, you are recognized. We have a motion and a second on the bill. Chairman Doggett, you're recognized for a brief description of your joint resolution.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of this esteemed committee. It is my honor to you today to come before you to present a constitutional amendment for Marcy's Law. Marcy's Law is expanding victims' rights. It's an endeavor that the previous General Assemblies have taken on in the past several years. It's been a great honor to be a part of those discussions over the last 5 years for that. And so it passed the body last year. It has to pass again this year for it to be on the ballot for the 2026 gubernatorial election.
All right. Thank you, Chairman Doggett, for that description. Do the members have any questions? Chairman Crawford, you're recognized. Previous question has been called, so without objection, we're going to, I'm sorry. I forgot we have a constitutional calendar. So this bill is actually going to the constitutional calendar. For the members that might be watching online, we have multiple constitutional amendments that are proposed every year. We create a special calendar for constitutional amendments and then take them all up at one time. And this bill, as long as the other ones, will also be in the same place. Yes, Chairman Doggett, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So does that mean I will have the opportunity to come back before you again to give my brief description?
Yes, you will, actually. I appreciate that, but we deal with this mainly because sometimes we're limited on the number of constitutional amendments that we put on the ballot, and sometimes there's confusion. If we had 15 amendments to the Constitution on a ballot, people seem to tend to care less by the time they get to number 6 or 7. So we try to make sure that we stack them accordingly. And so, of course, your bill is extremely important to you, the speaker, and I. And so we look forward to making sure it moves on through. But in the meantime, without objection, House Joint Resolution 48 moves to constitutional amendments calendar. Thank you, Chairman Doggett. You also have another item on the calendar, item number 11. I'm sorry, item number 9. Item number 9 on your calendar, House Bill 594. Have a motion? Second. We have a motion second on House Bill 594. Chairman Doggett, you are recognized for a brief description.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'll try to be as brief as possible. But constituents of mine reached out back in the fall. The state of Kentucky passed a bill last year that would allow churches and religious organizations to have fundraisers for members of their community or what have you, and not have to charge a sales tax. And so they brought this idea to me that we look at doing this because a lot of what they do is raise money for individuals that may have cancer, may have had a car accident, just a house fire, different things. And because in current law, it only says that you can have 2 of those a year before you have to start collecting sales tax on those proceeds that you have for your, maybe they do a silent auction or do a live auction or what have you, sell baked goods, whatever the case may be. And their point to me is that we just don't have traumatic events that happen in our communities twice a year. We have, there's multiple people in my community every day that are maybe being diagnosed with cancer, that are going through some very difficult times, and they want to find ways that they can help. And the community is always fantastic to come together to rally around a cause. They just wanted to find a way to not have to collect sales tax. And so working, I guess, with the Department of Revenue, we come up with a solution. Currently in law, the volunteer fire and rescue departments are allowed to have 4 of these charitable events a year without collecting sales tax. And all we're doing is moving religious institutions into that same time frame or bracket with our volunteer fire and rescue departments.
Thank you, Chairman Doggett, for your description. The members have any questions or discussion on the bill? As I had an opportunity to tell the Leadership Putnam class of 2025 earlier, this is the Black Hole Committee, and this bill is the first one that does have a fiscal cost. And so without objection, we're going to send House Bill 594 to the black hole behind the budget. We are back to the top of your calendar. Item number 3 on your calendar, House Joint Resolution 49 by Chairman Howell. I have a motion. We have a motion and second on House Joint Resolution 49. Chairman Howell, you were recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. House Joint Resolution 49 is an initiative by the Speaker. The resolution would create a ballot initiative for a constitutional amendment. It will let voters decide if the judges have the discretion to deny bail or to set bail for suspects who are charged with some of the most egregious violent crimes, such as rape of a child. Currently, under the Constitution, a judge can only deny bail for a capital offense, which is first-degree murder. Data shows that 12% of our crimes in Tennessee are committed by those who are out on bail. We believe this needs to change, and I request passage, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Howell. Do the members have any discussion on this bill? Well, Chairman Howell, as you heard earlier with Chairman Doggett, we do have a constitutional amendments calendar. I look forward to working with you on this bill.
Thank
But
you.
until such time, without objection, House Joint Resolution 49 moves the constitutional amendments calendar.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Howell. Item number 4 on your calendar, House Bill 988 by Speaker Pro Tem Marsh. We have a motion and second on the bill. Speaker Pro Tem Marsh, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill concerns the franchise and excise tax and farmers co-ops. Tennessee law provides a franchise and excise tax exemption for subsidiaries of agricultural cooperatives, but only if they are corporations. Agricultural cooperative subsidiaries structured as LLCs do not qualify under the current wording of the law. When the exemption was enacted in 1939, only corporations were subject to Tennessee franchise and excise tax, so LLCs were not mentioned. In 1999, Tennessee law expanded taxation to include LLCs and other limited liability entities, but the exempted statute was never updated. This bill aims to clarify that all agricultural cooperatives subsidiaries are exempt from franchise and excise tax as the legislation originally intended. By making this change, we will continue to support our strong agriculture industry and Tennessee farmers. I'll answer any questions.
Thank you, Speaker Pro Tem Marsh. Any questions or discussion? As you're well aware, Speaker Pro Tem, this bill does have a fiscal impact, and so without objection, House Bill 988 will go behind the budget.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
Speaker. We're next, item number 5 on your calendar by Leader Lambert, House Bill 359. Do you have a motion? Second. We have a motion and second on the bill. Leader, you are recognized on House Bill 359.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I was very optimistic with your leadership team earlier as you were addressing them, that in hopes that this bill would move through today. Now, Mr. Chairman, I know that I probably won't. It has a $561,000+ fiscal note at the state, and your very competent staff is staring holes through me right now to make sure that I don't try to move this through today. It also has a $7.4 million fiscal note at the local level. Reason I bring it up at this point is because I realize this will go behind the budget now, but I would ask to be considered later. This really will improve our criminal justice system when it comes to how we deal with driving on a road license or driving on a suspended license. Right now, if you're driving without a license, you get a C misdemeanor. So you've never had a license, you're just driving around out there without one. And I don't mean just left it at home. I mean, do not have a license. Then you get a much significantly reduced sentence than somebody who has, missed a ticket or something. That was driving on suspended driving revoked and they just didn't pay a ticket or messed up in some small way. And to me, all that should just be a B misdemeanor and be the same. So, Mr. Chairman, that's what the bill does. And please be kind as you sling that gavel.
Thank you, Leader Lambert. Of course, it is, we do appreciate your hard work on this subject matter as well, but unfortunately, it does have a fiscal impact. And so without objection, House Bill 359 goes behind the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
Always a pleasure being your committee. And I noticed Representative Scarborough's over here for his very first time today on a bill, so I thought that was great.
I'm sure that was a motion to send him to the Hill, but I'm not sure that you could do that from the mic, but appreciate that. Next on your calendar is item number 6, House Bill 424 by Chairman Baum. Chairman Baum, there he is. We have a motion and a second on the bill. Chairman Baum, I think you also have a draft, an amendment, drafting code 03457.
Correct.
All right. For the purpose of discussion, will the members, without objection, we're going to vote on the amendment. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed. Amendment drafting code 03457 is on the bill. Chairman Baum, you are recognized on the bill as amended, House Bill 424, for a brief description.
Thank you, Chairman Williams. Tennessee has a industrial machinery tax credit that we provide our businesses. The way it works is when a business buys a big piece of industrial equipment, they get a tax credit that they can use to offset a portion of their excise and franchise tax bill. Unfortunately, these companies can only offset up to 50% of their E&F tax bill. And sometimes the tax credits that they're awarded are an amount that's larger than that. The tax credit, by the way, is 1% of the cost of the industrial equipment. So some companies are not able to fully use the tax credit because it's capped at 50% of their E&F taxes. This bill would allow these companies to trade those tax credits to other companies in exchange for money, essentially enabling them to monetize the tax credit. They would have to report to the Department of Revenue the trade. Both parties, the buyer and the seller, would have to report to the Department of Revenue, and the Department of Revenue would receive a fee equal to 10% of the tax credit. When I initially was anticipating the fiscal note on this, I thought it might not have a fiscal note because the state is already budgeting. I thought the state would already be budgeting these tax credits. Who used the tax credits, I thought might not really matter. It turns out it does have a fiscal note because only about 50% of these tax credits are ever utilized. And so if all of the tax credits become utilized, then that would have an effect on Tennessee's revenue. But I think that gives more motivation for this bill because it means that some of the tax incentives we're providing are not being used. And so that makes Tennessee less competitive, particularly since several of the states surrounding us allow their tax credits to be traded. Those states are Kentucky, Missouri, Georgia, Arkansas, and Florida. So again, what this bill would do is it would allow a company with a tax credit to trade that tax credit to another company. It would help those companies that have more tax credits than they're actually able to use to offset E&F taxes.
Thank you, Chairman Baum. Do the members have any discussion or questions for our PhD economist? Seeing none, as you mentioned earlier, Chairman Baum, this bill does have a fiscal note or fiscal impact. So without objection, House Bill 424 will go behind the budget. Chairman Baum, you also have the next item on the calendar, item number 7, House Bill 695, We have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Baum, you're recognized on House Bill 695 for brief description.
Thank you, Chairman Williams. Tennessee allows our county governments to assess a mineral severance tax on the condition that that tax revenue is used by the counties to build county roads. When we talk about mineral severance, we mean a tax on things like gravel, sand, sandstone, chert, and limestone. The tax that can be charged is capped in Tennessee statutes. The cap was instituted in 1985. The tax cap, the cap that the state sets is equal to 15 cents per ton. This cap hasn't been raised since 1985. This is a bill that would raise that cap in Tennessee statutes up to 20 cents in 2025, 25 cents per ton by 2030, and 30 cents per ton by 2035. Now, this bill would just raise the cap in Tennessee statutes. In order for the mineral severance tax to change, the local government would have to vote to change their tax. That would require a 2/3 vote by the county commission or the local governing body. This bill is the result of an agreement among the Tennessee County Highway Officials Association, the Tennessee Road Builders Association, and the aggregate industry.
Thank you, Chairman Baum, for that description. Is there any discussion? Members have questions? Chairman Hicks, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Chairman Baum, just to make sure I'm clear on this. And so the revenue that this generates still has to go to the highway fund for the counties. Is that correct?
That is correct. The revenue is actually collected by the state and then is sent back to the counties. The counties have to use the revenue in order to build county roads.
And Mr. Chairman.
You may go ahead, Chair.
And it is permissive for the county. So if they choose not to do so, then they do not have to.
That is correct. Only about 2/3 of our counties impose a mineral severance tax. A third don't have it. And in order for those 2/3 of the counties to change their tax rate, they would have to explicitly vote to do it. All we're doing is we're raising the maximum tax per ton that is set in Tennessee statutes.
Thank you, Chairman Baum. And I'll say this at a time when counties they're strapped as much as they possibly can be, to be honest. And so this is just another tool in their tool belt to be able to, they're just like the state is when it comes to building roads. They need all hands on deck and they need funds that they can access. So I appreciate this and hopefully we'll see it go forward. Thank you.
And I should add again that this cap hasn't been changed since 1985, and that may be before some members on this committee were born.
That's a little personal, Chairman Baum. We do have a couple people on, couple people on the list, one of which may have been born before then. Leader Cochran, you were recognized.
He was not, but yeah. So speaking of, yeah, thank you. Hey, so I just wanted to offer support for the bill. I appreciate you bringing it. A lot of times when a quarry opens in a county, it's a valuable thing because those materials are being used to construct something, right? Whether it's roads somewhere else or it's a part of the economy. At the same time, that comes at great cost to a local county because those trucks are kind of tearing up the roads and so to be able to have a bigger impact on that county highway system or to give counties that option to receive more revenue to improve their county road system, I think is very important. So thanks for bringing it. I'm in support.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Thank you, Chairman Baum, for this bill. I did have an opportunity to talk to aggregate company yesterday regarding this and the road builders. They see this as an opportunity to kind of fund their own projects, to be honest with you, because they're saying if we paid more tax and it generated more, as Chairman Hicks said, in our road fund, then there's a possibility they'd be able to build more roads sooner rather than later. So I appreciate you bringing this bill. Look forward to seeing it passed. Any other questions for Chairman Baum? Seeing none, we are now voting on House Bill 695. Will the clerk please open the vote? Will the members please vote? Thank you. Will the clerk please call the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 13 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. Chairman Baum, House Bill 695 moves to full finance.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Item number 8 on your calendar, House Bill 65 by Chairman Bolso. Chairman Bolso, you're recognized with a motion and a second. You are recognized, Chairman Bolso.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, members of the committee. Title VI of our code lists 33 powers that city manager, city commission forms of government have. This bill simply seeks to add an additional discretionary power. Specifically, it seeks to give city commission, city manager forms of government the power, if they choose, to enter into a contract with a private entity for the development, construction, or operation of an indoor or outdoor athletic facility. We have 47 city manager, city commission forms of government across the state, so it ultimately could benefit city manager, city commission, local governments across the entire state. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'm ready for questions.
Thank you, Chairman Bolso. Representative Parkinson, you're recognized.
Chairman, thank you, Chairman Williams. Does the city manager still have to get legislative approval from their council, or can they just bypass that and enter into that contract without the approval? And also, just a second part of the question, does this decision making come with also the inclusion of city dollars?
Chairman Bolso.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The answer to the first question is no. It doesn't give a city manager power to do anything. This actually vests power in the city commission, if it votes to do so, to enter into a contract with a private entity. The city manager perhaps would be in charge of executing the vote that the city commission takes, but a city manager could not, under this legislation, do anything. And then secondly, no, it has no effect on local dollars. It's entirely discretionary, and a city commission can decide whether it wants to enter into such a contract or not.
Just
Representative Parkinson.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick follow up. Can you tell me, why we're bringing this bill? I guess I'm going to vote for it. But can you tell me what problem are we solving? We're bringing this bill. Where was the problem at that you felt like we need to bring this bill?
Chairman Bolso.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The issue arose in one of the cities in Williamson County, a portion of which I represent, the city of Brentwood. It had an interest in entering into a contract with a private party to construct an indoor athletic facility. But the legal guidance that they were given by a local prestigious law firm and by the controller's office was that city commissions do not, under current statute, actually have the power to enter into a public-private partnership, much like the ones that we saw in the Transportation Modernization Act that we passed a few years ago. And so when I learned that there was an issue with city commissions not having the power to enter into such a private contract, I drafted this bill, filed it, and we're now moving it forward.
Okay. And so is that the case for all of our different county governments, or is it the case that they can't enter? And just so I understand, what you're trying to solve is given cities, I guess cities or counties, the ability to do public-private financing on projects. Am I correct? Now, is that the case across the entire state, or is it different for each county that some exercise this ability to do that and some don't?
Chairman Bolso.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The short answer is that originally filed, it applied immediately to all 47 city manager, city commission governments across the state. But at the request of the comptroller, we amended the bill so that it requires any city commission to have a AAA bond rating at the time that it enters into the contract. So as prepared and drafted and before this committee today, it would apply to all city commission governments when they have a AAA bond rating.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for the explanation. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any further questions for Chairman Bolso? Just as a follow-up, Chairman, how many city manager form of government cities currently have AAA bond rating? Do you know?
According to the comptroller, just one, the city of Brentwood.
Thank you. Yes. There you have it, folks. All right. House Bill, without objection, we're going to vote on House Bill 65. Will the clerk please open the vote? Will the members vote? Will the clerk please call the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. Item number 8, House Bill 65 moves to full finance. Thank you,
Thank you,
Chairman.
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee.
Item number 9, we dealt with earlier with Chairman Doggett. We're now on item number 10, House Bill 530 by Chairman Eldridge. I'm sorry, House Bill 530 without objection, rolled 1 week. Now we're on to item number 11, which Chairman Hulsey dealt with earlier, and it was moved in this committee. Now we're on item number 12 by Chairman Lafferty, House Bill 823. Chairman Lafferty, there he is. Do you have a motion and second on the bill as he's John? Yes, we have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Lafferty on House Bill 823, and I think you have an amendment.
Yes, sir, I do. And and thank you, Chairman. Thank you, committee. That amendment number is 004008.
Thank you. Have a motion and second on the amendment. In order to have a discussion on the bill as amended, all those in favor of House or drafting code 4008, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, drafting code 4008 is on the bill. We're back on the bill as amended. And Chairman Lafferty, you're recognized on House Bill 823.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As some of you might already know, we've got a new baseball stadium coming to Knoxville, Tennessee. And we've also got one coming a little later down the calendar year to Chattanooga. So this bill is to put them in line with most of the other sports authority complexes that we have in this state to allow them to sell both wine and spirits. And let me add something else, Mr. Chair, if I could.
You're recognized.
Put on another amendment before I got here today, that I need the amendment that we just added to be a substitute for. So I'm not sure if we need to take care of that now or how to proceed.
Thank you. This amendment, which we have now adopted, drafting code 4008, fixes the issue that you were concerned about.
Thank
So
you.
we're in the proper posture as we currently are.
Thank you. Well, in that case, I'll stand for questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Chairman Lafferty? Seeing none, we are voting on House Bill 823 as amended. Will the clerk please open the vote? And when the members please vote. And will the clerk please call the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes, 1 no, 1 present not voting.
Thank you, Chairman Lafferty. House Bill 823 goes to full finance.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, committee.
Thank you. We are now to item number 13 on your calendar. House Bill 114 by Chairman Moon. We have a motion and second on the bill. House Bill 114, Chairman Moon, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here before you to speak on the Strong Act, which has been extremely successful in retention and recruiting of our National Guard members. It's a tuition reimbursement bill. It does sunset June 30, 2025. I do have a funding letter from F&A for $4.1 million approximately.
Thank you, Chairman Moon. Do the members have any questions? Important to note here, he did mention that it does have a funding letter, even though it's not an administration bill, it does have a funding letter. Therefore, it has the ability to go. It is it is administration bill. It does have a funding letter, and so it does have the ability to go to full finance. All those, will the clerk please open the vote on House Bill 114? Will the members vote, please? And will the clerk please call the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 10 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, House Bill 114 moves to full finance as you walk out the door. Item number 14 on your calendar, House Bill 123 by Chairman Powers. Chairman Powers, you're recognized. We have a motion second. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. House Bill 123 requires the department to provide notice of potential creation of any lien due to reclamation, including how the landowner may avoid a lien. And this is dealing with the Tennessee Abandoned Mines Land Program. These updates are necessary to continue to receive $8.5 million in annual federal funding through the AML program under the Infrastructure Investments and Jobs Act. The lien has no bearing on the cost of reclaiming the property. The lien is a result of market value increase on the property after the reclamation. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll be glad to take any questions.
Thank you, Chairman Powers. The members have any questions for Chairman Powers?
It's an administrative bill too. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Should have said that.
Seeing none, will the clerk please open the vote? Will the members please vote? Will the clerk please call the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 10 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. Chairman Powers, House Bill 123 is off to full finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee.
Members, we are now on item number 15 by Leader Garrett, Representative, or House Bill 909. I guess I should call you Whip, Leader Garrett. You're recognized, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you would allow me just a second, I'm joined today by my big sister, Leslie Garrett, to my right. Just wanted to introduce her, so don't give me too hard of a time as I get through several of these bills.
We
But
will
I'm
add her
glad
to the
she's-
prayer list, Chairman.
Thank you very much for that. House Bill 909 is the shares revenue bill. For the past 50 years, we have shared revenue with our cities to the tune of about 4.6%. In the early 2000s, we had some budget crunches and we increased that sales tax from 6% to 7%, Mr. Chairman. And that was not shared back with the cities. You'll see, obviously, this has got a large fiscal note to it. And I hope that someday we'll be able to, I know where this is going. So I hope someday that we can get that $93 million back to our cities, since that 1% wasn't shared back in the day when this was passed. So that's what this piece of legislation does, Mr. Chairman. I hope we can pass that out, but I got a feeling I know what you're going to do next.
Yes.
So,
Well, they don't call it the black hole for nothing. So I will say, Chairman Garrett, this is a really important legislation that all of our communities really have reached out to us about. I know last year you also had this same bill, which was a phasing back in of what was originally happened back in 2000 when the budget was in a completely different place than it is now. And so it does have a huge fiscal note, of which you get the trophy for having the largest fiscal note in finance sub so far. But since you do, this bill will go behind the budget. So House Bill 909 will go behind the budget. You also have item number 16, Representative Garrett, House Bill 1329. Do I have a motion second on the bill? We have a motion second. Chairman Garrett, I've got so many titles for you. Representative Garrett, you're recognized on House Bill 1329.
thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. What this piece of legislation does, this is by the Department of Revenue. And as they collect the sales tax, the counties are charged 1.125% for that administrative cost. They are reducing that to 0.75, which is hopefully going to save our locals about $18 million. So that's what this piece of legislation does. I do believe that it is funded. So my hope is that you all will support this to give a little bit of money back to our locals in those fees that they pay us to administer those sales tax collections, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Garrett. I do have some questions. Representative Shaw, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank you, Chairman, for bringing this. Our local folks are happy about it, and we think it's going to make them happy and make them smile. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Shaw.
Thank you. Any further questions? As Representative Garrett did say, this does have a funding letter. And so with that, we are now voting on House Bill 1329. Will clerk please open the vote? Will the members please vote? Will the clerk please call the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you, Representative Garrett. House Bill 1329 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee.
Batting 50%, not bad. Now we're item number 17 on the calendar, House Bill 1337. We have a motion second. We have a motion second on House Bill 1337. Representative Garrett, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What this bill does, committee, is that for those that have nonprofits in their district, I've got one that missed the deadline in the gaming world, that they have a raffle. And this simply opens up that time frame where they can apply and have their raffle. So once this becomes law, they'll have 5 days to resubmit that application. That'll be approved so they can go and have that raffle for whatever nonprofit they're raising money for. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'd be glad to take any questions.
Thank you. Do the members have any questions regarding House Bill 1337? I want to thank you for this bill. Unfortunately, this happens every year. Our nonprofits are out there trying to raise money for their little league ball team or swim team or something, and they forget to do this. Appreciate the Secretary of State's office for being willing to open this up. If the members would just do a job in helping us communicate with these local booster clubs and things across your state, some of those are in violation. It's very important for them to recognize these charitable events across your communities. There is a penalty, a really high penalty for doing that, but unfortunately it's very difficult to police. And so appreciate this bill and the Secretary of State for doing that. We're going to vote on House Bill 1337. Will the clerk please open the board for vote? Will the members please vote? Will the clerk please call the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. House Bill 1337 by Garrett is on to full finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee.
Not a bad batting average, sir. We are next on the calendar. Item number 18, House Bill 399 by Representative Bricken. Representative Bricken, do I have a motion second? We have a motion and second. Representative Bricken, you are recognized on House Bill 399.
Thank you, Chairman and committee. House Bill 399 is a bill is a pilot bill that would allow local education districts in 40 designated at-risk and distressed counties to apply to the Department of Education for a grant for 3 smart metal detectors to be used in their districts.
Thank you. Do the members have any questions for Representative Bricken? As you said previously, this bill does have a fiscal impact, and so without objection, House Bill 399 goes behind the budget.
Thank you, committee.
Next on your calendar, item number 19, House Bill 386 by Representative Butler. We have a motion, and I'll second it. House Bill 386, Representative, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This legislation extends the age a child can be surrendered, whether it be at a baby box or whether it be at a safe haven location across the state of Tennessee, from 14 days old to 45 days old, and brings us closer to the general consistency of the United States. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do the members have any questions? Thank you, Representative Butler, for this bill. I think it's a really important part of what we do. Look forward to having a discussion later, but until that time, House Bill 386 does have a fiscal impact. So House Bill 386 will go behind the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
You're welcome. Item number 20 on the calendar, House Bill 784 by Representative Greg Martin. We have a motion and second on the bill. Representative Martin, you're recognized on House Bill 784 for a brief description. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. Perhaps the most vulnerable time in a young Tennessean's life is when they find out that they're going to have a child that they have to care for. Probably it's one of the most economically lower times in an individual's life than when they're getting started in life. And so what this bill seeks to do is to provide a tax relief for babies, diapers, wipes, and formula. And that's all it's doing. It's very simple. It will help our citizens that perhaps are the most economically vulnerable in the state of Tennessee, and I'd appreciate your support.
Thank you. Thank you. Do the members have any questions? This bill does have a fiscal impact. House Bill 784 will go behind the budget. Thank you. Great face.
Thank you.
Item number 21, next on the calendar by Representative Miller. House Bill 813 has been requested to be rolled 1 week. So without objection, House Bill 813 rolled 1 week. Item number 22 on your calendar, House Bill 220 by Representative Reedy. We have a motion and second on the bill. Representative Reedy, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. And of course, this piece of legislation that we passed House and Senate last year, but was not funded here. So here I am again. And what we're trying to do is with the West Tennessee River Basin Authority, working with Director Blackwood with the West Tennessee River Basin Authority, we still came up with allowing it to be permissive to allow Stewart, Houston, Humphreys, and Perry County to join the West Tennessee River Basin Authority. And what does the West Tennessee River Basin Authority do? Every time we have a weather event, that they come in there with professionals as well as equipment and that time in cleaning up to try to prevent that flooding that takes place. And what was interesting is 4 years ago, what happened in Waverly and in Humphreys County, after the fact, West Tennessee River Basin Authority did show up with TEMA, and we did the cleaning up and all of that, and showing how important the West Tennessee River Basin Authority is to West Tennessee, keeping in mind between us and those 4 counties is Kentucky Lake. So as part of that we consider that part of the basin authority. Now with this, it would create 2 positions, and that's where the fiscal note's coming from, allowing these professionals once again to come on the ground to help us decide in the 4 counties, how do we need to take care of soil, land loss, the water loss, as well as the destruction. And I'm thinking that the fiscal note is low enough compared to the 20 million that we earmarked for the loss of the 2 schools in Humphreys County. And of course, I do have Director David with us if there's any questions or concern. And we do have the belief, because of the weather event in East Tennessee with the TEMA, or should I say the FEMA funding as well as the TDEC funding, these 2 positions would all become a wash, because of the way that West Tennessee River Basin Authority works in that 20-some counties. In any county that has an event, everybody shows up to the party and takes care of the situation. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Reedy. Do the members have any questions for Representative Reedy? Representative Gant, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What is the overall operating budget for the West Tennessee Basin Authority?
Mr. Chairman, I don't know what their budget is. All I could speak to is what the fiscal note on this piece of legislation is.
Representative Gant.
Can you summarize again exactly what they do on a day-to-day basis and tell me the geographical region again that they handle?
Representative Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The proposed legislation will add 4 additional counties, increasing the authority's total county presence to 24. And keeping in mind the whole time that we have the weather events in Humphreys County. Now, I also represent Benton County, which is across Kentucky Lake. And they said, we don't see what your problem is. We've got folks that show up and take care of that, not knowing that Benton County was part of the West Tennessee River Basin Authority. Now, part of what you're looking at in the fiscal note is it's kind of like a membership fee. So my mayors are already in support of this. An example, Benton County pays $30,000 a year to be part of the West Tennessee River Basin Authority, with the big excavator on pontoons, so they can go around the lake's edge cleaning up back up in these different branches of the rivers, the creeks, to help clean that up. But that's their purpose. And Representative Gant, I think that you're in the West Tennessee River Basin Authority area as well.
Is Fayette, Hardeman, and McNary in that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So again, my question is, what specifically do they do as far as their overall means of helping our different counties? What are they? Give me some examples of what they actually do.
Representative Reedy.
Chairman, is there a chance we can go out of session and hear from David Blackwood to get this information?
Well, thank you, Representative Reedy. I'm going to go to Representative Shaw. I will say that because this bill does have a fiscal impact, it is going to go behind the budget. I guess the best thing for the members to do, if they do have questions, is to get with Representative Reedy and those here to testify today if necessary. But because of the constraints of time and it having a fiscal note, it's going to go behind the budget, and we can continue the discussion. But Representative Shaw, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Had the privilege to serve on the River Basin Authority some years back, and just got reappointed to the board, so I can answer some of those questions. Do a lot of dredging, flood controlling, whenever there's been a flood and soil erosion, issues like that. And of course, being in West Tennessee, we've always been in the authority. And of course, what Chairman Reedy is attempting to do is to add 2 more counties who will pay their fees, but it will, of course, increase the fiscal note, because we're talking about adding 2 more employees to help keep those counties controlled in case of flooding, when there's been a storm, when there's a road washout, covets put in, all of those things. That's what they're thought to do. And it's very vital to us in West Tennessee in terms of controlling our soils and taking care of the farmers' issues with things like that. So I think when you check into it, you're going to want to be very supportive of what Chairman Reed is trying to do.
Thank you, Representative Shaw. Representative Gann.
Whoever is here representing them today, I would ask them to reach out to my McNairy County Mayor, Larry Smith.
Thank you. We can do that. Representative Reedy, also, if you find favor to get this out from behind the budget and your person would like to testify, they would make sure to submit a witness card to the Chairman Hicks's office, so that when we do have that discussion, we didn't have one on file for them to communicate here today. And so if we could do that, so that's the main reason why we're not going to do that. We do have several people who have submitted to testify permissively, but that's where we are. Do the members have any further questions for Representative Reedy? As we said earlier, this bill does have a fiscal impact. And so item number 20, House Bill 220, goes behind the budget. You're next on the calendar, item number 23, Representative Reedy, House Bill 40. We have a motion, and I'll second the bill. House Bill 40. Representative Reedy, you are recognized.
And of course, Mr. Chairman, thanks again. And really, I'm here. It's just a TASER study. We did amend it from the TASER committee, and they just wanted to have the filing come back to us in January 30th of 2026. But it has to do on the TASER study. We do have a problem, and it's with local juvenile detention centers and other facilities for housing and treatment of juvenile detainees. And that's what we're asking them to look at and come back and tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, or maybe create something for legislation.
Thank you, Representative Reedy. Do the members have any questions? As he did say, this is a TASER bill, which Chairman Hicks and I have the great pleasure of serving on TASER. And we do have several TASER bills. That current total is 10. So sometimes we don't like to overload that wagon and look at those. So we do have a special TASER calendar. And so without objection, House Bill 40 moves to the TASER calendar. Next on your calendar, item number 24, also by Representative Reedy, House Bill 496. I have a motion, and I'll second it. House Bill 496 by Representative Reedy. You are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On this bill, it refers to ABLE, which is Achieving a Better Life Experience for our disabled folks, and per the federal government, and then keeping up with their adjustment. With the enactment of the Federal Able Age Adjustment Act in 2022, the disability onset age was changed from 26 to 46 beginning January 1, 2026. And with that, we're just aligning so we don't lose this program or the money that's earmarked for it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Do the members have any questions for Representative Reedy? This bill also does have a fiscal impact. So House Bill 496 goes behind the budget.
Thank you,
Thank you, Representative Reedy. Item number 25, House Bill 1221 by Rico Scarborough. Rico, you are recognized on House Bill 122. We have a motion second. Representative Scarborough, you are recognized. House Bill 122.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members. Good morning. This proposed legislation will allow collected fees to be used to use, operate, and maintain and improve the Tennessee Advanced Communication Network. Currently, Tennessee law only allows assessment to be used for the use and the maintenance of the system. And if you approve this bill, we'll be able to use this for improving the system as well. I'll stand by for questions.
Thank you, Representative Scarborough. Speaker Zachary, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Scarborough, is this your first bill in front of this committee?
It is, sir.
Well, Mr. Chairman, since Representative Scarborough did not wait to be recognized, I make a motion we roll this to the heel behind you and Chairman Hicks so he can learn from his mistakes.
There is a proper motion and proper second. All without objection, House Bill 122 goes to the heel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Welcome to Finance Sub, Representative Scarborough. Item number 26, House Bill 767 by Chairman Hicks. We have a motion and second on the bill. I think Chairman Hicks, you have an amendment also that's filed properly with the committee.
Yes, sir, that's correct. I have Amendment 4079.
That is correct. All those in favor of putting drafting code 4079 on the bill, say aye. All those opposed, drafting code 4079 amendment goes on the bill. Now you are recognized, Chairman Hicks, on the bill as amended.
And the amendment just clarifies that it applies to tax years ending on or after December 31st, 2025. So just a kind of a technical correction. Was that did you explain the amendment, or did we just put the amendment on?
We put the amendment on so you can explain
I'd
it,
love to
which you just
describe-
did. So we are, the committee is on the bill as amended. So brief description on this bill.
All right. I'll get in the swing of this eventually. Chairman, House Bill and members, House Bill 767 provides a fair and necessary tax exemption for specialty pharmacies that dispense high-cost, life-saving medications. Under current law, these same drugs are exempt from the business tax when sold by hospitals and clinics, but taxed when dispensed by specialty pharmacies. This bill corrects that inconsistency and ensures that specialty pharmacies, which operate on thin margins, are not unfairly burdened by tax on gross receipts rather than actual profits. Importantly, this exemption only applies to drugs that meet strict federal cost thresholds. And with that, I'll stand to answer any questions.
Do the members have any questions for Chairman Hicks on House Bill 767 as amended? As Chairman Hicks did say, for the members, behind the budget designation also applies to the Chairman of Finance. So this bill does have a fiscal impact. And so without objection, House Bill 767 goes behind the budget. Did you give them?
All right, members. That brings us to item number 27 on our calendar. Item number 27 is going to be House Bill 987 by Chairman Williams. And I do have a request here to take this bill off notice. So without objection, House Bill 987 is off notice. So moved. All right, that brings us now, members, to item number 28. Item number 28 on our calendar is going to be House Bill 526, also by Chairman Williams. We have a motion and a second. And Chairman, I think you have an amendment, drafting code 3861. Is that correct?
That is the motion on the amendment.
We have a motion and a second on the amendment. Do you want to put the amendment on, or would you like to describe the amendment?
Please, Chairman.
All right, without objection, we're going to put House amendment. We're going to put Amendment 3861 on to House Bill 526. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes do have it. Back on the bill as amended. Chairman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. This bill as amended, I recognize it does have a fiscal impact. This bill as amended would allow for real estate agents to come under the same tax law as other ones in a like fashion. Look forward to talking to the Chairman about this at a later date. I'm happy to answer any questions that members might have.
All right, members, any question? You've heard the description from the sponsor. Any discussion on the bill? Hearing none and seeing none, as the Chairman alluded to, there is a cost associated with House Bill 526. So without objection, House Bill 526 goes behind the budget. So moved.
Thank you, Chairman Hicks. We are back to the heel of the calendar. And we do have a freshman legislator who's been waiting patiently. Item number 25, House Bill 122. We do have a motion and we have a second on the bill. Representative Scarborough, you are recognized on House Bill 122.
Chairman, members, again, this legislation will allow elected fees to be used to operate, maintain, and improve Tennessee Advanced Communication Network. Currently, we're only allowed to use those assessments for the use and maintenance. This also, by passing this legislation, will hopefully also avoid or decrease the amount of funding requests during the budget process to cover improvements to the network in the future. I'll stand by for any questions.
Thank you. For questions, Representative Shaw, you're recognized.
Thank you. I just want this committee to know that this is one of the nicest gentlemen I have ever met. And I really think we just should give him a break and do something nice with this legislation.
Well, I will say he's done must be super nice if his first bill in this committee is an administration bill. And so he's obviously doing something well. Representative Capley, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sponsor, your mic was cut off for about the first 30 seconds of that. Could you run us through that just one more time? Would you care to do that?
Representative Scarborough, you're recognized.
Yes, sir. Currently, this legislation only allows the use and maintenance of the system. By passing this legislation, we'll also be able to improve the system as well. And again, hopefully avoid any budget process or increases in the future.
Representative Capley, any further questions? No, sir. Chairman Hicks, you were recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Representative Scarborough. I know you've sat here a long time, and I'm just curious, just a question I have, what's one thing you've learned sitting in this committee today? Is anything stuck out to you?
Representative Scarborough, you're recognized. Tread lightly.
Mr. Chairman, that's a great question. One thing I've learned, this is a detail-oriented committee. And again, probably some of the finest folks who've ever stood before.
With that said, I'm going to tell you, I support your bill today. And no, it's a pleasure having you. Certainly happy to serve with you and look forward to it. Congratulations on your first bill in finance.
Representative Parkinson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And, just following up with my colleague, the coach, my mic was off when he said the first part of his bill, so I couldn't hear him. So can you have him repeat it, please?
I think he'd be delighted to do that, but I would do an abbreviated version there, Representative Scarborough. You're recognized.
Thank you, sir. I'll be happy to. Again, this bill currently.
Thank you, Representative Parkinson, for your withdrawal. Representative Gant, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative, I noticed you've touched your mic like this like 14 times. Is that like a nervous habit? First time in the committee? Is that?
Representative Scarborough, you recognize.
It may go back to where I keep having to answer because my mic was off or too far away and cut back. I'd repeat myself. So I'll make sure I get it across to you.
I think he had a opportunity to go to the Representative Patsy Hazelwood School of Microphones, but many of my members would know exactly who that is. The members have it. Representative Chairman Crawford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I agree with what Representative Shaw said. You're a super nice guy, and I'm glad to call you my friend. But I know back in 2022 and 2023, you received the Vice President's Award for Public Service from the University of Tennessee. Can you tell me exactly what you did to earn that?
Representative Scarborough.
We hired some very talented people to put together a great project, and I just happened to be their supervisor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Crawford. Any other questions? Representative Scarborough, I've gotten an opportunity to spend a lot of time with you in the last couple of weeks. I really enjoy the way in which you do things, and you really respect and understand this, not just this committee, but this process. And you act like a really seasoned legislator, and I'm very thankful for that. But I found out the other day how and why, and her name's Molly. And so all the best to you, Molly, and look forward to serving with you some more. The members have any questions, any further questions? Not, will the clerk please open the board? Will the members please vote? Will the clerk please call the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 12 ayes, 0 noes.
Item number 25, House Bill 122 goes to full finance. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members.
I went close my thing. That completes our calendar for Finance, Ways and Means Subcommittee. Do we have any further business that the members need to discuss? If not, I see none, so we are stand adjourned.